Hello everyone, how about time for a giveaway? 15 special cards to form like a special booster. I'll show them a bit closer on cam in a minute, and I'm going to give them away when my channel reaches 1500 subscribers. So all you got to do is like, sub and write a comment below saying why you should win these cards. So let's see what the cards are. Competition is open to anyone. If you want to win, as I said, like, sub, comment below, tell me why you need to win, why you want to win, why you should win, and I'll decide once I'm at 1500 subs. I'll give them away anywhere. All we have to do is sort out your address. You can message me via Discord or Twitter and I'll send these off to you. So good luck, like, sub, comment below. 1500 subs, I'll announce the winner picked from the comments below. Alright, cool, enjoy the video. If you live in the UK, the price of bacon and eggs has just gone up, so I'm now having to resort to make videos like this. And I've noticed a few of you haven't subbed to the channel yet, so if you're after these cancerous evil decks where you get to use Teferi the huge staff, this could be the channel for you. Sub now and you'll see more videos like this. This is Teferi turns. I don't know how much more cancerous you can actually make a deck. It stops your opponent casting spells during your turn. It gives yourself multiple turns with Time Warp, Khan's Temporal Sundering, Aaron's Epiphany, and also if you happen to have Jingataxias out, you're going to copy those spells to get multiple extra turns. The aim of this deck is to get the opponent to concede and or quit playing Arena altogether, so if you're really into that, then this is definitely the video for you. Bear in mind this Teferi is different from the paper version. The paper version is 3 mana for 4 loyalty, pretty sure that's the main difference. And oh, his passive is a bit different. I might put the artwork on screen just to show you the difference between the paper Teferi and the Teferi. I've recently spoken to a lot of people in my audience about whether people like seeing alchemy cards or not, and the answer was an overwhelming yes. So here we go. More alchemy style cards like this, or revised cards I should say. And if you didn't know, a card with the A at the bottom of the border denotes that it's been refined in some way, or the A in the top left as well. So if you enjoy watching me annihilate opponents through sheer hatred and or boredom, then don't forget to like and sub the video so I can afford to buy groceries, because frankly Brexit has ruined my breakfast habits. But yeah, check out my Ko-fi donations page if you want to donate as well, and also my Twitter. Let's get into the gameplay. Opponent goes first with Rafine. Our starting hand is not too bad. The Mind Stone is going to be helpful because Rafine has got Ward 1, so we need to get around that tax cost. Fragmentize could be nice if they have some early rocks. Really underrated card, especially when you consider how aggressive the meta is when you use cards like Teferi. People are going to probably have a lot more aggressively costed spells. Let's go for double blue because we've got a lot of blue cards in the hand and we can already cast the Fragmentize. Okay, Day of Judgment is actually fantastic as well. Next turn, if they go for Rafine, we could even go for the Raven form, and then that will slow them down because it will give them 1-1 instead of the Rafine. Also, we have the Day of Judgment to back up. So I think I'm happy to do this. So it looks like that Mind Stone really paid off there. Now the only scary part is we don't have the double white for the Day of Judgment. And the boy's just working up because that's the curse of my voice. My curse is I wake my boy up with my voice, even though there's so many locked doors. There's 2 locked doors between me and him. Right, so they've got 3 mana open. See if we can get the midnight clock. Probably Dovin's Veto to slow them down. Okay, that's super loud crying. Oh. It's very difficult being a new father and a YouTuber, as Gnome will know, MTG Gnome. Check his channel out if you haven't. He's got an even sexier voice than mine, if you're into that kind of stuff. And yeah, although Gnome's kid seems to be really cute when he records, whereas mine wakes up like a demon from hell. So not sure what else to say about that. I like demonic children, I think. Seems to be the case. So Day of Judgment here, going to take them both out. So it looks like they're definitely a reanimation build with the Jingataxias there. And if they do reanimate the Jingataxias, we are in a lot of trouble. It's a shame this doesn't tap for white, because then we could use the Dovin's Veto. If they do go for the Jingataxias, we can bounce it to that hand, but they might have some counter magic. They've got the Foretold card here. Could be anything. Return upon the tide. So yeah, it is. They are going to have to discard down though, because they don't have unlimited hand size. But this is rather terrifying, because they also have 2 mana up. Weirdly good news is if we bounce this to their hand, they can't cast it yet, so they're going to have to find a way to discard it. But yeah, it's always Jingataxias for some reason whenever I come across Rafine. They've got so many cards in hand that at this point it's probably inevitable that they do have some kind of counter. Goodness me, so many powerful cards there. So hopefully they don't have a Dovin's Veto. Okay.
Right on.
That's interesting. So we get to bounce to the hand and draw a card.
I have a plan.
I'm actually pretty chuffed about that. Hopefully we get a few more lands at the midnight clock. Interesting. Mox Amber with nothing out. We can probably kill that with a Fragmentize in our turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Bond of Revival. Let's Dovin's Veto that. So they can't counter this, which is just amazing. And that would have been pretty annoying if they did resolve that. So it looks like in our turn we might be able to Spark Double, getting another Teferi, but they could just kill it here with 2 mana kill spell, eliminate Bone Shards. Okay.
Only time will tell.
Interesting. Okay, so fantastic. Hitting a land is great. Got nothing to bounce here. I think I'm going to try to Fragmentize this just to take them off some mana. They've got 1 blue open, so this could be something like Wash Away. Okay, so resolving the Teferi is really cool, because it lets us filtrate a bit more.
I do love a good puzzle.
And yeah, we'll get rid of the Revoke, I think, because I want to hit as many lands as I can. Just for when this midnight clock goes off, and then we're going to have loads of lands to cast our juicy spells. Might regret it if they reanimate some kind of artifact or enchantment. But yeah, this is pretty rough. They've already hit a couple of reanimation spells, and the thing is, they're all like uncommon and common level, so they probably have plenty more. Inquisition's going to hit 0 because Spark Double is 4 mana. So this comes out. Return a creature from the field to the battlefield. Okay. So it's got haste, so they can do that immediately. What we're going to go for? We're going to go for Jingataxias. Okay, so let's draw a card here.
Think fast.
Oh, we had the search for Scanter. That could be good. So they're going to draw 7 cards again, which is just ridiculous. Man, as if they had 3 reanimation spells this game. They're going to refill their entire hand, which is just absolutely crazy. Take this up. Oof, they can do so many horrid things. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we get rid of the Ornithopter, then they can't play Jingataxias. Well, they could just play a land here. Portable Hole. Let's see if we can resolve the Teferi first. Okay, bounce the Jingataxias.
Oh, I've done
this is crazy. And then draw.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Okay, Wash Away is pretty good. We'll get rid of the Birth of Meletis, I think. And that means we can have the portable hole and the wash away up if they cast their general. So sadly we are going to lose the cards in our hand, but we will get a new 7. They've got 9 cards. Sorry, 9 mana, so they've got... They're 1 off Jingataxius. Hullbreaker Horror, that is very rough. Very rough indeed. So the cast on the spell can bounce something. Okay. Whatever we draw is just gonna be discarded anyway. Damn, everything they have is just a humongous hit, isn't it? So we might as well draw just because it increases loyalty, I suppose.
I do love a good puzzle.
So it doesn't matter what we get rid of here. Okay, Temporal Sundering, so they can't actually... Oh, fantastic. They can't cast spells during our turn. So, let's get rid of the Hullbreaker. That's actually insane. So we can cast sorceries in their turn.
Here goes nothing. Ideas, like seconds, are fleeting.
Oh, actually, we'll discard the Baffling End because it's unlikely to have any creatures. And we want to leave up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we go for Spark Double on the Teferi, so we're going to have 2 Teferis to deal with.
If you show remorse, I'll show restraint.
Let's tick that up.
I'll protect you.
Okay, so 10 mana. If they go for anything big, we might be able to counter it unless they've got backup. We'll see. Reveal their hand. Okay, let's force them to do something about this. Okay, so they don't have the information, but they can resolve something that costs 7 mana. And the reason I didn't leave up the Khan's Temporal Sundering is I didn't really want them to resolve any permanents, but if they do... Returning the Nazal, okay. That's kind of annoying. Fateful Absence. Okay, so we'll just draw and discard here. Ooh, Day of Judgment. That's actually a really cool hit.
I've learned my lesson.
Okay, so we don't get the 2 extra turns in a row, but we are getting to the point where we can kind of slow them down with the Day of Judgment, I suppose. They can't... See, the thing is, will they flicker their Nazal? We can do whatever we want here. The thing is, if we go for the Temporal Sundering, they'll just flicker the Nazal, right? So we don't want to make that mistake. I guess we'll
Might be a bad idea.
try and bounce it with the Nazal. Don't forget, we can cast the spells on their turn. So if they discard 3 cards, then... Wow. Okay. So here's the question. Do we just let them have this? I think we do, because then in their turn, if they go for the Jig, see, we know exactly what's in their hand. So this will... Let me just put a stop here. So this will come back in. Right, and then in their turn, we'll see what they do. If they attack, we can just try and board wipe, and they don't have enough... Well, they could discard 3, but they'll have the Jingataxias to deal with here. Which Teferi, eh? Okay, let's try and board wipe. So they do draw a card, so they do have the option here of discarding, but if they do, we can bounce it to the hand with the 4, 5... Oh no, that's not a land, is it? That's a clue. Okay. They discarded their entire hand to do that. That's really weird. Because now... now I feel like they're a bit screwed, because this comes in end step, we can just bounce it and they don't have any way to discard cards now. I feel like that was kind of a mistake, because they could have tried to maybe resolve the Drink Ataxius after that board wipe, but... Rafine, okay. And then that comes back in. So let's scry 2 with the Cos of Ventress. Oath of Teferi, holy crap. Right. I think the first thing we do then is we bounce the Nazal. So we take an extra turn after this one, and then we bounce the Nazal. So they will draw a card, but they can't counter anything in our turn. Okay. And then... so we get an extra turn after this. Let's bounce the Rafine. We're going to have to pay 1 for this.
No, I am not making
So we
this up
we
as I
basically
go.
desperately need a win con here. We might even be able to do some Teferi loops as well. Activating 2 abilities of each Teferi. That's 4 abilities. Wrath of God. Return up to 1, so we don't have to return anything. We just draw a card basically.
Here we go.
Ooh, and an Esper Sentinel. But we do have Wrath of God, so I think I'd rather not do that. Okay, Ugin as well, so things are starting to look good here. So we can cast
Don't
spells,
worry, I got this.
instant speed.
That's more like it.
Let's go for the Ugin.
I came into
Activate, and then if they cast anything in their turn, yeah, we'll Wrath of God.
vision.
So we'll wait just a little bit longer for the Oath of Teferi. Who knows how long they'll go here. Cycling. So obviously if they have some kind of exile or planeswalk and stuff, we're utterly screwed. Here comes Nazal. So if we go for the board wipe, are they just going to discard 3 cards here? And if they do, we can kill it with Ugin in our turn, so they're kind of screwed. We just need to get to a point where we're comfortable winning with something. We still don't have a win con. I guess the Hall of Storm Giants is a win con. So let's go for the Wrath. They'll draw a card. So they can respond to this. And that's why I didn't want to play the Esper Sentinel, because I don't want to just end up losing that. Oh my goodness, we actually destroyed them. Holy crap, I can't believe I won there. Oh, that was good. We go first against Garrick, which is always nice because green specialises in ramping, so going in front of them, always a good thing. I mean, to be honest, going first is always good. We have an absolutely wicked starting hand here. We can bounce either of these back to our hand, which is nice with Teferi because you can kind of redeploy your early decisions if you make a mistake. So it's good for people who are not quite sure what to do first. Teferi can kind of literally rewind time and let you do things again. Obviously he's very toxic because of just how oppressive he is. I think they did nerf him. Back in the day when I used to play Standard, this guy absolutely obliterated the format. And yeah, I think making 4 mana did actually make a huge difference because you rarely see him now. Unless there's a private queue for him, but I don't think I've used him since the amendment, so... Ooh, okay, 2 mana open. Let's go for a Restoration of Igandru. There's a Plains. One thing I will say about playing control decks is you want to hit a land every single turn where possible, because you need to establish your field. Return to nature, that's a very early return to nature, but I guess I see why. The value it gives you is kind of crazy. If Garrick resolves, we could be in a bit of trouble because he's very difficult to deal with. So yeah, let's bounce the Midnight Reaper before they have any support or interruption
Let's
effects.
slow this down.
because when you target someone with Teferi, if someone sacrifices it in response, then you don't get to draw a card because it fizzles the ability, so you don't want to do that. Dark Ritual, oof, this is going to give them the Garrick immediately, so this is pretty rough. Oh, they're going to Soul Shatter instead. That actually surprises me. That actually surprises me quite a bit. I think it would have been better if they went for the Garrick, because they would have had a Garrick and 2 creatures out, and that is very difficult for this deck to deal with. We're good at dealing with individual targets, but dealing with multiple different targets is the issue. Dovin's Veto is the pick. When you see decks like Garrick, you don't want to deal with it when it hits. You want to deal with it before, because dealing with the 2 wolves as well is quite an issue. It's going to require at least 2 cards to deal with 1, which is not what we want to see here. We kind of have them in a pincer move. Teferi. Okay, here comes the evilness. So I've got 4, 5, 6, yeah. See, that's all we need. Flash the Teferi, and there you go. Opponent goes first with Magda. Actually, this could be good because we have the Loyal Warhound. We also have the Guardian Idol and the Teferi, which work well together because you can untap some rocks. Let's go for the Sentinel first. This might allow us to draw a few cards. Also, it can block Magda if we really want to. It might be useful because she's so annoying. 7 dwarves. Okay. So let's definitely go for the Guardian Idol. So that means next turn we can go for the Warhound as well as the Maze Mind Tome, or even just Teferi, to be honest. See, so now we need a board wipe, really, to deal with this stuff. Because these treasures are going to get out of hand. If they have vehicles to crew, they can do it without even attacking. So I think we'll go for the Loyal Warhound first. So now we can block if we want to. Pass turn, so yeah, it's a scary deck, Magda. They always use a number of dwarves, and they can ramp into Paradox Engine, which will then enable to essentially play the whole deck. And there's the vehicle that they can do that with. So if we do manage to get Jingataxis out, it's going to be really nice, but until then, I don't know what to do. Maybe bounce to Magda. So now they can just create 2 treasures without doing anything. So I really need a board wipe. That's not it. I think I'll scry again in my upkeep. Okay, just completely missed the upkeep trigger. So sadly, they're still going to be able to get 2 triggers here. 2 treasures. Ugh, that's just gross.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
And then we will bounce the Magda, I think. Even though it's not as expensive as the Raider's Carve. And a Raven form as well. So we can only foretell that for now, but that may be useful. I think I'm just going to do this now, just in case we forget. Land is perfect. Getting closer to the Jingataxius. Hold up the defenders. Crew cost of 3. So they can get Paradox Engine this turn. But we can exile it if we get a turn. Target creature against haste. Okay. Are they going to sacrifice everything to kill the Teferi here? So they can. So that's they're all dwarves, so they can get 6 treasures. Yeah, this is scary. Very scary indeed. So if they get Paradox Engine, we'll see. Swinging in with everything. So yeah, I think I will block because they value Teferi enough to attack it. 6 treasures though. Damn scary. Crazy card for 2 mana. Sack 5 treasures. Yeah, I always see these together. They always seem to come out as a pair. Weirdly enough. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Jin plus. So let's scry this. They've not chosen to do it yet. Okay. Land is perfect. Okay. So.
Don't worry, I got this.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's think about this for a sec. If I go for the Oath of Teferi, we can then threaten to... Oh, I don't know what to do here. I think we'll just go for the Jin. I wonder if they can get around this. I mean, they'll be able to untap everything over and over, but yeah, because this doesn't actually... It's not cast, it just comes in, and Jin only cares about the cast triggers. So yeah, Paradox Engine's going to come in. Oh, they're going for the dragon. So they're going to create D20 That's interesting. I wonder if that's protocol. I'm not actually seeing people win with this dragon. Torbrun, okay. So it's gonna certainly hurt, isn't it? They're all gonna deal +2 damage. So that's 5, that's 8. I don't think we block, because they probably have a way to pump or something. Down to 10.
I really should have seen that coming.
So we really want extra turn spells, really. 13 treasures, so they can get 3 artifacts from the deck now. That's pretty ludicrous. So I can see the synergy here, especially getting that high result. I don't know if I played this properly or not, but maybe the Raven form was the right answer. Terror of the Peaks. Yikes. Yeah, so they've basically won now. They can get 2 more dragons out and deal 10 damage to me. Or more. Yeah, that's crazy deck. That is a crazy deck. Doesn't require that much input either, but there you go. Okay, I mean, I guess that's what I get for using this deck, but there you go. Okay, we go first against the Azorius Mirror. This is going to be interesting. Teferi versus Teferi. Okay, so let's get out the rocks first, because the first one to get Teferi out, I guess, does a bit better. I mean, obviously they can just counter ours first, which is not very nice to see, but... Unless they tap out here for a mana rock. Ooh, I have Vecna. This is great to see. So I think we bounce it to their hand. I mean, they can just draw another card off it, but we just slow them down off being able to, I guess, 2 mana. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if that was a good play or not, but search for his counter.
I've got it.
Let's go for Spark Double. So 2 Teferis. It's going to be pretty good. Not sure how they're going to deal with this.
That's more like it.
So now anything they do, we just get rid of with the ECD. It's pretty gross, to be honest. 2 Teferis is not what you want to see. Especially when they're not creatures, they can't just board wipe. Search for his counter. Also, the fact they can't respond on our turn is just delightful. But you do get to draw another card, which is regrettable, but... Oh, Devon's Veto. Now, annoyingly, we cannot ECD anything they have.
Here we go.
So I think we just go for the Foretell. And then the Arcane Signet to increase our mana. So yeah, the Eye of Vecna is probably quite good against us because we're not going to pressure their life total, and that means that they can use more of it to get leverage. They didn't want the land, They probably have too many. Maze Mind Tome. I will get rid of that because that's another way to draw 4 cards. So they've got 3 mana open, but I'm not sure what they can do. They can't respond. Having this extra turn, 2 creatures may help. But yeah, against enemy control decks, this is just crazy.
Here goes nothing.
Time Warp. Okay, so it looks like we're going to do the thing we were destined to do. It's a shame we don't have the Jingataxius out. Jingataxius would obviously allow us to have multiple turns in a row. Do they just concede from... No? Okay. Sticking in the game. Nice.
Trust me, I have a plan. Here we go.
Don't forget to get our damage in. One of the few ways we can win with these silly little ravens. Psalm Simulacrum. Okay. So don't forget we can Raven form in the opponent's turn, getting rid of the artifact like Eye of Vecna if we want to. So we've managed to establish our field really well. We can cast a Consuming Tide if things get desperate. Consuming Tide at instant speed is a really nice answer to stuff like Ruinous Ultimatum.
Like it.
Because if they want to kill our stuff, we can just bounce it to our hand and then redeploy it later. So don't forget. Same with someone uses Farewell and you can instant speed Consuming Tide. Bounce your stuff, redeploy it. It's just a nice failsafe. You need a few bits of criteria. Obviously you need a Teferi out, but with a Teferi out, it does protect you quite a bit. River's Rebuke, there's no point because they're all going to come out your hand anyway. Unless you're playing multiplayer Commander and you just want to do some card draw. People forget about the final sentence here. You draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. So if you do this in a 4-player game and they have more stuff in their hand, you're going to draw 3. And that can make a huge difference. Don't forget, if you enjoy watching my channel and you're new to the channel, liking, subscribing really helps out, and I really appreciate everyone supporting me. And yeah, thank you very much for joining in the fun. Hope you enjoy this build. I don't normally make decks like this, but it is kind of fun, to be honest. I've gone through a bit of renaissance really, where I was thinking about like the the ethics of my channel, as in like the cards I use, and I was thinking maybe people just like to watch the stronger stuff, and that's what kind of drove me to make this. Opponent is roping me, I think, which is always pleasant to see. But I mean, what do you expect if you're using, you know, if you're using powerful cards? It's just going to happen, isn't it? Shark Typhoon for 1. I mean, that will be able to peg one of the Teferis a little bit. Tempted to spite them just by going Consuming Tide here, but no, that would be silly. So they keep looking at the other Teferi. They're going for the clone. Okay, I'm not sure if... Maybe there is a merit to going for the clone, but...
You want me to phase you out of time?
They could have attacked with the Crawling Barons if they wanted. Thematic Compass. So that can get them a land. And an Eye of Vecna. So we can kill both of these if we really want to. But I'd like to kill the Search for a Scanter. Fantastic, so that's coming out to play. Question is, do I go for 2 here or 3 in my turn? I think we go for 3.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Yeah, let's get rid of the 3 things. That's really going to hurt them. And then we can do this. And then swing in. Leaving up the 2 blockers for Teferi. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get back from this, to be honest. I mean, it's possible. They can wipe the field, do all sorts of stuff. Are they going to play a Nazal? I've faced a lot of Nazals lately. Probably because in the mirror match, you're matched against other control players and the game puts you together. So here comes Teferi. I wonder if they'll just tick down here to draw.
Time for a complex plan. Let's improvise.
Choosing to attack first is curious. I mean, it gets rid of... Yeah, it gets rid of... Yeah, it's annoying. I could just absorb it, but I don't want to. Also, they get to untap it as well.
Second here,
So the interesting part is, because they're a control player versus our control decks, Day of Judgment, so that... Yeah, let's just draw a card with the Mind Stone. Skyclave Apparition, that's fantastic. That will kill the Teferi. Okay. Or we could go for the ECD. I think that's better.
that didn't go according to plan.
And then that means we can leave up... Oh, actually, we could just bounce the... We can just bounce the ECD, can't we? Yeah, let's do that. We get to put one of the best cards into our hand and draw. That's pretty crazy, actually.
Here goes nothing.
And... yeah, that's enough. We can just ECD over and over again, and man, 2 Teferi's seriously rough. Don't forget to check out more of my videos, and also my Ko-fi donations page. You can donate as little or as much as you want.